Hey there, welcome back to Tuguchi channel. In this particular course, we are going to build this beautiful find and discover players, okay, and we call it as a ninja player. So in this particular application, you can able to create a post and you can find the player near you so that you can play with them. Okay, so this is beautiful application we are going to build using the Next.js, okay, which is the very much popular React framework on the web right now. Then, in order for the authentication, we are going to use NextAuth and we will add the Google authentication in our application. Okay. Also, for the styling, we are going to use Tailwind CSS as we use in our previous project as well. And along with the Tailwind CSS, we are going to use most popular component library called Daisy UI. Okay, so this Daisy UI library is based on Tailwind CSS. So that also we will look how to use it. Okay, and the last but not the least is Firebase. Okay, very much popular database, which is completely free, and that also we are going to use in our application to store all the information. So before doing any further delay, let's me walk through the application first and then we will start to build this application. So if you see in this on the screen, right, this particular ninja player application, we have a beautiful logo and this particular buttons, right? So right now, the user is login, right? Let me sign out to the user, right? And if you sign out, you don't see that profile picture. Now if I sign in back, right, you have beautiful this sign with Google option, and then you can able to sign in with the Google Gmail account. Then you can able to search the post with the help of zip code, or you can search with um, the game which you want to play. Okay, and the related post is display below that one. Okay, if you are interested in tracking, just click on tracking and you will see the tracking post. You can open it and you can contact to the user with the help of email ID that who post the use this particular post, and all the information you will see. Also with the help of this UI, you will see how to use this, how to add this model, right, once you click on any of this post. This application is completely mobile friendly and responsive. Okay, it will adopt whatever the screen you are looking for. Okay, so if you see on a mobile view as well, it will look like this. On the tablet, it will look like this. As I say, it's completely a mobile friendly and responsive website. Also, you can create a new post on your own, right? So if you click on this, you can fill the form and submit it. Immediately your post will be displayed on the screen. Okay, you can manage your post by going to the profile section, and here you can manage your profile, you can delete your post, and so on. So guys, if you really want to learn Next.js, so watch this full video. And if you have any doubt, any question along or through the course, let me know in the comment section. So before doing any further delay, let's begin. So in this particular course, we are going Next.js to create our application. Okay, so if you go to the get started, you will see all the documentation of Next.js, and most important things and benefit of Next.js is the routing. Okay, so let's first, before doing any further delay, create next application. So in order to create next application, you have to use this command. Okay, so let's go to your project folder, open the command prompt, and just type npx create next app. Okay, then it will ask you to proceed, say yes, and then you have to give the project name. So in this case, our project name is ninja player. Okay, and click enter. So it will install all the dependency which we require, like react dom, next, and so on. Okay, so it will take few minutes to import all the dependencies.
A few minutes later.
Now if you see, our project is ready. Okay, so let's go to project folder by typing cd ninja player. Okay, and now we are in the project folder. Open the VS Code by typing code space dot. It will open our VS Code with the current project which we created just now. And if you see, we are in the project. Okay, so talking about the project folder structure, right? Just ignore this node module. Then we have the pages. Okay, so pages is nothing but whatever the pages we are going to route right in the Next.js application, that all the files included in the pages folder. Once we started developing our application, you will get to know better. Okay, and if you want a pure Next.js tutorial, please write down in the comment section. Okay, so the underscore app.js, which is our starting point for the application, and if you see where all our components are going to render in this underscore app.js. Then we have index.js, which is our default page for the Next.js. Okay, and then we have public folder, where in public folder whatever the images, assets we want to store, we can store it here. Okay, we are not going to change this any name of this particular folder. Okay, because this folder is s- very much important in the Next.js. Okay, then we have the styles, where we will store all the css styles. Okay, in the pages folder we also have this API folder, right? And we have the API called hello.js. Okay, and in order to access the API, we have to access like the URL slash API and the name of the endpoint. In this case is hello. Okay, and then we have next.config.js file, where all the next config will be added here, right? We are gonna use this next.config.js once we started our application development. Then you will get to know. Okay, and then at the last we have packet.json, where we all have dependency installed. Okay, so now let's install the Tailwind CSS, because we are going to use Tailwind CSS as our for our styling. Okay, now in order to install the Tailwind CSS, just type Next.js Tailwind CSS. Okay, and it will give you the first link where it saying install Tailwind CSS with Next.js. The first step we already covered, we already created the Next.js project. Second, we have to install these dependencies. So copy this command, go to your project folder, sorry, go to your project and open the terminal. So it will open the inbuilt terminal for VS Code, and just execute this command. Okay, again execute the second command. Once you execute the second command, it will generate two files. One is tailwind.config.js and second postcss.config.js. Okay, so let's go here. I execute the second command, and if you see, this two file is created. Okay, then you have to add this all the line of code. I will copy all of this in tailwind.config.js. Okay, so go back here, open the tailwind.config.js file and paste it all of these things. Okay, and save it. Then you have to add these three lines in global.css. Okay, you have to follow all of these steps, right? So that you will not miss anything. So let's go to the styles in global.css. I will add the style sheet at the top. You can add it anywhere, and then you have to restart your server. Okay, for testing I will copy this one. Okay, and I will paste in, go to the pages folder and in index.js, right, where this is default code. What I will do, I will remove all of this code. Okay, and paste it here like this. Okay, and save it. Now just run this server. So you have to type npm run and dev. So it will open the port 3000. Okay, so open localhost 3000, which is 3000, and within a few seconds our application get is running. Okay, and if you see, our Tailwind CSS also applied to this particular project. Okay, so we are successfully integrate Tailwind CSS, and if you see, for this hello world, it mentioned text of size 3xl, and if you hover on this one, it will also explain the CSS behind this, right? So it's nothing but a font size of 30 pixel, line height of 36 pixel. Same if you hover on the font bold, it's showing the font weight of 700, right? So behind of each Tailwind CSS classes, it we have actually the CSS properties. Okay, but it's quite easy to use. That's the reason we are going to use Tailwind CSS. And in the current market, the Tailwind CSS is much more popular. Okay. So now I already explained this all the project and folder structure. Okay. So right now, if you go to the localhost 300, right, we have this default page which is index.js. Okay. And in order to access the API, right now we are not going to use API endpoint, but if you want to access it, you just type API and hello, right, and it will return this name. Okay, the JSON object. Okay. Now we have to create some folder, some files for our application. If you see this mockup for our application, right, we have a header, then we have this intro section, the hero section we can call, right. Then we have a list of the games which we is showing here, and then we have the list of um, event or post which we are showing on the screen, on the home screen, right. So right now we are going to use index.js as our home screen, and in order to create the components, we have to create a new file called new folder called components to the root directory. So here we will call the components. Now here you is very important, right? If you go to the tailwind.config.js, right, no one will tell you for you, right, this components name, right, that it matches to this folder name, right. So make sure the folder name matches with this one, right. Otherwise you have to make sure this folder name you will import in tailwind css, otherwise tailwind css will not work whatever the tailwind css classes you are applying to these files. Okay, you have to make sure that one. Now here what I will do, I will create new let me create a new folder inside component called home, and all the home related components I will put it in a home, right, and the share component I will put it in a components. So share component in the sense, let's say the header dot js. Okay, and then we have the footer.js. Okay, these two files contain the which is consistent throughout the application. That's the reason I kept it as a common. Now if you don't did not watch my previous video of the React or any video regarding the React Native, then please do watch that video, because each of my video I told how to create a default template for each of our file. Okay, so for that one you have to go to VS Code and just search for the React. Okay, search type React and you will see this plugin ES7 React Redux React Native. Okay, this plugin will help you to create a default template for your any file or components, right. So in this case, if I type rfce and enter it, it's automatically create this default template for me. Okay, this is how easy it is. So this plugin is very useful. Same thing you have to do for this one. You just type rfce and you will get the default template. Okay, now you have header, you have footer. Now let's go to the pages, and index.js you can add that component here, but we want that throughout the application. So what I will do, I will add this header and footer in underscore app.js, and what I will do, I will wrap this like this. Okay, so I can add multiple components. So here I will provide the header. Okay, and make sure you import that one, and then I have to provide the footer. Okay, if you see we got the error because we want to wrap everything in one component only. So what I will do, I will wrap this in one div. Okay, so only one HTML tag you have to wrap all these components, and I save it. If you go back to our application, let's go back to localhost 300 3000, and if you see we have header and now we have footer, and this is nothing but our pages or component whatever we are going to render between this component tag. Okay, next we will start building this header section. So in order to develop this header section, if you see, right, we have this logo. Okay, so which is ninja player. Then we have these two buttons, create post and sign in, and then we have this user image. Okay, so header section if you see, and this beautiful bottom border. Okay, now let's go back to our project and let's start developing it. Okay, first of all, I will add the logo. So here, add the logo from the image source, and let's add the logo in your public folder. So in public folder, create one folder called images. Okay, and inside these images, let's open this in a file explorer and paste this logo. Okay, I will rename this to logo. Okay, now in order to access it, right, you don't need to write a part for the public. You can access it directly like this: images slash logo dot png. Okay, and save it. Let me open the project side by side. Okay, and our right here, and if you see, the logo is displaying on the screen. Right now, let me go back to index.js, and I want to remove this one. Right, perfect. And if you see, now everything's look good. Correct. Now after this, let's add the two buttons. Okay, so what I will do, I will add one div, and inside that I will add button. So one is to for create post, and another is for sign in. Sign in. Okay, so we have these two buttons as well. Okay, after that we want to use the image. Okay, so right now, for the user image, right now I'm putting the default image. Okay, so this is the image URL, and I'm putting this user image as well. Okay, and in order to display image, right, you have to, we are going to use next image. So if I put image, right, and you will see this image with importing from the next slash image. Let's import that one. Okay, it's similar to the HTML tag. Okay, just this tag name is different, and then add the source and the URL, which is we are storing in user image constant, right, and user image. Here we have to provide some width. So in this case I will add the width of 40, and let's also add the height to 40 and save it. Now once you save it, right, you are getting error that invalid source prop, right, and this is the image we are using in next image, and the host name is this, correct. So here is thing, right, whenever you are gonna use any image, right, in your next image tag, right, then the URL domain you have to add in your next config, in our next.config.js, right. So here you have to write image. Okay, and inside that you have to add the domains. Okay, and just add these domains. So in this case the host name is resourcecloud.com, which is our subdomain, and save it. Right now you change this config files, so you have to restart your server. So just restart your server, and once the server started, just refresh the screen. So refresh the screen, and now if you see, you are getting able to display this user image. So make sure whenever you add any URL, do any images from the any URL, the domain should be added in your next.config.js, otherwise you will get the error. Okay, now we are good with all the components. We are ready, right? Let's apply some styling now. So first of all, let's add some styling to this one. So I will add the class name, and I will add the Tailwind CSS classes. So in this case I will add the width to 150, or you can add the width here, right, like this. So width to 150. Okay, you remove this class, I don't want. And if you go to the inspect panel, right, and console, you will see the image is missing required alt property, right. So every image, make sure you will add the alt property. This is helpful for the SEO purpose, right. So in this case let's add alt and say logo, or you can say ninja player logo. and here you can add the alt property like alt user image. Okay, perfect. Now we are okay with this logo. Let's put this everything in one line. So, or first I'll apply some styling to this post. So let's add class name, and let's add background black. Okay, see, then we'll add the padding to 2, padding x to 3. Okay, and text to white. So we want white text, so text to white. Okay, if you don't understand any of this property, how to use Tailwind CSS property, you can anytime you can go to the Tailwind CSS official website and just search. For example, if you want to search for background, right, um, background color, right, and just search it, and here you will see the example how to use it, right. Perfect. Let's go back to our project, and now I also want the corner to be rounded, so just put rounded to be full, and that's all, right. Same thing, I will apply for the sign in, so add the class name. For this one, I will add the background to be white, then text I will put the gray color, right. And if you see, I'm getting bunch of options, so in this case I will put this 500 gray, and then I will give padding to 2, padding x to 3, and border of 1 pixel. So if you want to add the custom value to the Tailwind CSS classes, you have to write in a square bracket and the value which you want. Okay, so if you see, border width is 2 pixel and like this, correct. And add the rounded corner, so rounded to be full means circular rounded, right. So rounded to be full here, like this, correct. Now you can add some gap, whatever you want, right. And for this image also I will add some classes, so add class name, and here I will add the rounded to be full, like this. Now everything I want in one line, right. So for this parent div I will add the class name and just mark it as a flex. Okay, and you see everything in one line. Now I want this create push sign in and this image to the right, so say justify between. See how easily it goes, right. And if you see, perfect, right. Now what you have to do, just right now, just bring this image inside this div like this, and give class name to be flex. Perfect. And if you see, these are the one side and this is on the left side, right. Let's give some padding and everything, so some I want to give some gap like 4, right. And you see this is gap we are getting. Okay, also let's add some padding from all or like this, right. And if you see, perfect, it's look perfectly fine. Okay, one more thing I want to do, to add the border at the bottom. If you see, we have this border, right. And if you see, this is color of the border, so what I can do, go to this div, right, and add the border over here, right. So you can add the border of 2 pixel, right. And if you see, border is added for whole thing, right, but I want the border at the bottom only, right. So let's move this, and let's try to find border to bottom, right, and the size which is 2 pixel. And you see, we got the border. Let's add the color for the border, so I will add the color border, and you can give the custom color code like this and save it. See, perfect, right. Now you can just decrease some padding. Right now padding is too much, like this. Okay, and see how it looks, and it looks good, right. And if you see our mockup is similar to what we wanted. Okay, and you can decrease some padding, some margin, some size, whatever is up to you. Okay, but for now I will keep everything as it is. Okay, now we pretty much completed the header section, but if you go to the inspect panel and change this to the mobile view, right? It looks like this, and it's not look good as what we wanted, right? So what we can do, instead of putting this create post and sign in as a full word, right, we will add the icons when it is a mobile view. Okay, so just search for react icons. We'll see this official library for the react icons. Okay, very easy to use. Just execute this command to install these react icons. So open the terminal and just run this command, right? And you will see a bunch of different type of icon, right? So in this case I will use the hero icon. Okay, so in order to use this, just import this statement. So let's go back to our project, and here I will import it like this. Okay, and then you have to replace with the icon name with the icon which you selected. So in this case we want to create icon, so sorry, to create post, right? So let's, so here I am going to use this high outline pencil square. Okay, and I will replace this icon name with this one, right? Now you have the icon in your project. Just in order to use it, right, what you can do, uh, after this create post, right, I will add this icon like this. Okay? And I will wrap this create post in a span so that it will not change anything. Okay, and then if you go to project, you will see icon as well, right? Now here is property you can write. So add class name. Okay, and that's where the tailwind css is quite easy and quite useful and to use. Okay, so when the screen screen size is medium, then only want to show this create post, or when the screen size is extra smaller, then we don't want to use, right? So just type hidden and it will hide it, right? And when the screen size is smaller or large or medium, right, then just show as a block, right? And if I increase the size like this, okay, let me go back here. If you see, create post is displaying, and as soon as I touch it, the small screen size, the create post is no longer available. Okay, perfect. So let's go back here, and now we have this create post working. Same thing you have to do. So initially we want to show it, and when the screen size is smaller, add class name, and when screen size is smaller, we want to hide it. Okay, just type hidden, and if you see, right, the screen size is smaller or medium size, it's no longer showing. But as soon as it touches the breakpoint for the extra small screen or mobile view screen, it's just showing the pencil. Okay, now let's go back here. I will increase this size for this one, right? So in order to increase the size, just add property like text of 20 pixel. Okay, and perfect. Same thing you have to implement for this sign in as well. Okay, so I will wrap this span in a span like this, put the sign in over here, and add the same property, whatever property you added for this create post. Okay, and we want to get one icon for the sign in. So let's go back to react icons, and if you see, I just added this arrow left rectangle. Let me get this like this. Okay, now we have this button, and if you go to the inspect panel and change to mobile view, we have beautiful view for this one as well. Okay, let me increase this size to 45. Now if you see, we have these buttons, and when I change to a normal view, right, let's increase the size. Let's go to inspect panel, and if I decrease the size, it's changed to buttons, and with icon. Otherwise we are getting the button with the text. Perfect. I hope you understand this header section. Okay, next we are gonna use the authentication method, okay, using the NextAuth. And let's move forward then. Now let's implement the Google authentication. To implement the Google authentication, we are going to use the NextAuth. So NextAuth is the one of the best authentication provider for the Next.js. Okay, and this is the official website of NextAuth.js. Okay, It's quite easy and quite simple to use. Let's go to the documentation, okay, and go to the get starting, where you first of all you need to install this dependency, okay, and then step by step I will teach you how to implement this authentication. Okay, so first of all, copy this line of command, go to your project, and just execute it. As simple as that. Okay, once you execute it, you are ready to implement now. Okay, now just you have to follow the step, whatever the step they gave in their documentation. Okay, now once we install this one, you have to go to the next step, where it's saying that we have to create one file dash dash next or .js in pages slash api slash auth. Okay, so let's go back here, make sure the dependency is installed. Now go to the api. Inside API, we have to create one folder called auth, and inside that authentication, we have to create another file called in square bracket. We have to call dot 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 NextAuth. Okay, so go here, create new file, and paste it like this, and simple. Okay. Next step, you have to copy all of this code and put it inside this one. Okay, but if you see, they are in the example they added this GitHub provider, right? We don't want GitHub provider, so I will remove it, and I will remove this provider, GitHub provider as well. Okay, and save it. Now we want the Google authentication, correct? So if you go to the providers, right, here is the providers, and again if you scroll down, you will find this Google provider, right? Google provider. So I open it in new tab, and here you will find this Google authentication, right? Now if you don't know how to use the Google console, right, then let me know in the comment section, right? I already created one app in a Google Cloud, and I added the credential. Okay, so if you see, I have this, I give the name called authentication, and I added this origin as a localhost 3000, which is our development URL. Okay, then we have to add this Google callback URL. Okay, it's similar whatever they mentioned, right? We just need to add this localhost. That's it, and nothing else you need to do it. Okay, and just save it. Then you will find the client ID and the client secret key. Okay, copy this client ID and client secret key. Go to the .env file. If you don't have, create one, and add your client ID and the client secret key. Okay, so that we can use it directly in our application. Now if you scroll down, we will find this Google provider. Copy this line of code and paste it in provider. Okay, and make sure you will import this Google cloud provider as well. So I will paste it here, import statement, and save it. Now we have Google client ID and Google client secret key, which we stored in .env file. Okay, and we pretty much set up. Next, go back to the original documentation and scroll down. Let me go back here, right? Now if you see, in underscore app.js, right, we have to add this session provider. Okay, so copy this session provider, go to your underscore app.js file. Now we have either computer, just keep as it is, just here add the session provider. Okay, and wrap this all this component inside the session provider. Okay, and then make sure you will update this props as well. Okay, so replace this page props with this line and save it, and that's it. We pretty much completed. Now you need to do the login and log out things, correct? So in order to implement that one, correct, let's follow one more step. Okay, this is the last step. So if you see, right, we have to add this data session in use session. This section will help us to get to know whether user is login to our system or not. So go to the header.js, because we have our sign in sign out button here, right? Paste it here, make sure you will import the user session. Okay, so user, go back here and import this use session. Okay, so I will copy all of this statement and paste it here. We need this sign out button. In second I will tell you how to use it. Now in session we have all our information, right? Now what I will do, I will consolidate the session information, right, and I will say session like this. Now save it, go back to your project. Okay, and now if you see, right, we got the error that session provider is not defined because we have to import the session provider, right? If you go back the previous step, we have to make sure that we import the session provider. So go back to our app underscore app.js and import the statement and save it. And if you go back to a project, you don't see anything. Okay, now go back to our header.js, and over here, right, in sign in, correct, you can add the on click method. Okay, on click, and on click of sign in, you want to sign in, just add the sign in method here like this. Okay, also if you just sign in, we want to show button as a sign out. So what I will do, I will create one more button, but I will check if session is there. If session is not available, then show the sign in button, otherwise show the sign out button. So I will create one more button, copy same buttons and paste it here, but I will replace the name with the sign out and change this on click method to sign out and save it. And now if you see, right, the session we providing, and right now it's undefined because we did not sign in, correct? As soon as you click on sign in, you will get this pop-up where sign in with Google. Right now I have only one account, so as soon as I press sign in with Google, right, I able to sign in. And if you see in the console, you will see the user information. Okay, so if you see the expiry date of this particular session, the user information, so in that user information we have email, image and name. Okay, so you can use this session information in order to display whether the user image or username or other things. Okay, so what I will do, I will change the image with this the required image, right? So we have the session information now. Okay, so this session information I will use to display the user image, right? So copy this session, go to your user image section here, right? So user session dot and mention like image, user dot image. Okay, so session user, I will add the optional parameter user dot image. Okay, and I will write one more condition: if session is available, then show this image, otherwise show user image, default user image, right? Perfect. And then save it. Now as soon as I save it, I got the error that this host name is not configured. So copy this host name, make sure you will add in your next config.js file, okay, inside this domains, and save it. Okay, obviously you have to restart your server, so restart the server and then come back here again. And as soon as refresh, you will see the image of the user, login user, right? If I sign out, it will show the default image. If I sign in, go to sign in, and it will show me the user image now. Okay, I hope understand this particular section, right? And now you can use this use session hooks anywhere in your application to check whether user is sign in or not. Okay, this as simple as that. And if you have any question, any doubt, please comment in the comment section. And next we will we will develop our application further. So now let's implement this hero section. So we have this beautiful header, title, and then we have, so let's implement the header section. So if you see, right, we have this title, then some subtitle and search bar with this search button, and then we have this all the icons, games icon with the name. Okay, so we will divide this whole component into three different section. Okay, so let's go back to our project. Inside this index.js we are going to implement, right? So first of all, I will create a new component inside this home folder which we created before. We can call hero. Next.js. Okay, and here we can add our title and everything, right? So add rfc. Then I will create a new file for search.js, and then another file for game list.js. Okay, and add the default template search and for game list and save everything. Okay, now let's go back to our index.js and import this all components. So in this case the hero, then we have search, then we have the game list. I will remove this class name container for now and save everything. Now if you go back to our application, you will see hero, search and game list. This is footer is the old one, right? For now we can remove the footer section. Just I will remove from here. Perfect. Now let's add the hero section. Now go to the hero.js file, and here we are going to implement the header section, sorry, the hero section. So here first add the h1 tag and write the text which we want to display. So in this case find and discover players. Okay, and another tag near you. Then we have the bunch of text. I will copy it from Figma, copy it and paste it and save it, and let's check how it looks on the screen. Okay, so perfect. Now let's add the styling. So for this one let's add class name and text size of, for example, 30 pixel, and font need to be bold. Okay, like this. Perfect. And same thing we can add it here. So instead of adding different same style for the different tags, right, what I will do, let's add this near you span and add the beer tag. After that I will add the span like this. Remove this one. Okay, and we want everything to be in the center, so let's say item to be in the center. Let's add text center. Okay, like this look good. So add the text center to this div only. So let's add the center first, text to be center, everything will be in the center. Now if you increase the size, right, it's covering all this screen. So what we can do, we can give some padding to this one. Okay, but we want that padding to all of these our components, right? So go to our um, index.js, and here we can give padding. So let's say class name. Initially we can give padding of 5, and when screen size is smaller we can give padding of 7, and medium or larger we can give padding of 10. If I increase the size, it's look I think good, but I don't think so. We don't need to change anything at this point. Okay, now let's add some margin from the top, and we can change the text color, and I will make the font size little bigger and more um, bolder. So here only I can add the margin top to 7. Okay. And then in the hero section 35 pixel, and font to be extra bold like this. Okay. For this near you, let's add some styling to this one. So I will add the text of blue color like this. And also I'm gonna change the color of this text as well. So class name text gray. If you see our mockup, it looks similar, right? You can do padding X to this one as well. Okay, so it will be in the one line. Okay, so let's add some padding X to 20 in maybe site. This look good to me. If I increase the size, it will look like this, and if I decrease the size, it will be like this, right? Now we give this padding X to 8, but we can give also if medium size padding X to maybe let me check the size 16. It does not affect anything, but let me quickly check. See, it's working perfectly fine. Okay, next we will add the search input with the button. Now let's add the search input bar. So in order to add it, right, you have to write a lot of Tailwind CSS. Depends on what you how you want to give the style, right? So one of the best solution for this one, you just need to search for the Tailwind CSS search bar. Okay, so for example like this, and most of the time flow byte will come up, right? And if you see, they will provide a source code with the how it looks like, right? If you see different types of search bar, you will able to see, and you can also get the um, code for it, right? And it's completely a pure Tailwind CSS code. So in this case, I will copy this code. Okay, and I decided to go with the search bar, copy this line of code and paste it here. Okay, also you have to remember one thing. Let me first remove this error. We have to end the input tag, right? This is the HTML class, right? And we have to change with the next or react.js. So I have to replace this class word with the class name, because this class was is reserved in a react. That's the reason. And I replace this all of this class with the class name. And if I save it, go back to application, and if you see, you can able to see this one. Okay, now you can change, you can add your own custom styling to this one. Okay, it's up to you, but right now I'll keep as it is, which because it's matching to our theme and everything. So let me update the placeholder. So what I will do, I will update the placeholder. Update this search with zip code. Okay, and save it. Perfect, and we are ready with our search input bar. Okay, now in order to when user type the search input bar, right, and search it, you want to console whatever the input is user written, right? So go to the input and just type on change. Okay, so whenever user type something, this on change method will get called. So here you can add text. In this case, for now we can just console whatever the user written, right, and text, save it, right? If I type one, you will see we are getting a lot of information, correct? But our value is stored in target dot value. See, one. If I type 2 3 4 5, let's search the, we have to search with the last object, and if you see target dot value 1 2 3 4 5. So in order to get the exact value, we have to write text dot, oh, sorry, text dot target dot value, and save it. Let's clean the console and type everything 1 2 3 4 5, and if you see, we're getting the exact value whatever the user type. See, perfect. Okay, now this value we can store in a state, right? So define one state. So constant search text comma set search text to set the value for the search text. Okay, and we will use the inbuilt hook of React called use state. This is the React inbuilt state management hook. Okay, now instead of console log, we replace with the set text, sorry, set search text. Okay, and save it. Whenever you use the type, this value is stored in search text. And on the button or click of this one, we can console it, right? So what we can do, we can first of all, we can define one method. So just type constant search button on. Okay, we can write on search button click, and then we can console the search text. Right, search text, because this search text contains our text which we search, right? And this method we can call on the click of search button. So for this is our search button, and we can call on click method, and this method we can call it here. Okay, and save it. Now if I type something, right, to it like this, and if I click search, got the error, right, or console log is not defined. Let me check where it is. So this is need to be like this. Okay, console dot log, and save it. And now let me clean this one. If I click search, you will see search text, and the text whatever the input user entered, right? As simple as that. This is how input on-chain text will work, right? And also you will learn this state management, how we can use it, how we store the value, how user can input the value, and how we can store it in our state. Okay, now implement this game list category. So let's go back to our application. I already added the all the images which we required in my public images folder. Okay, so here we'll see badminton, cricket, and so on. And also I created a new folder called shared, and inside this one I created a new file called data.js. Inside I added this list of games. Okay, so it has id, the name, and the image path. Okay, so whatever the games icon which we are showing on the hero section, that all information I added in this JSON format. Okay, and just I exported that one so that we can use anywhere throughout the application. So let's go back to the game list, and first of all let's iterate this all the game list, right? For that one, import the data first from, give the path. So in this case it's shared slash data. Okay, and now I will define your state first. So here I will define state called games, and set games equal to use state. Okay, and inside the use effect I will use effect. If you don't know what is use effect, please watch my previous video. Okay, so this is inbuilt hook, and this will execute only once if you are passing this empty array, and it will execute one whenever the components get loaded. Okay, and then here you can just set the games data using data dot game list. Okay, now in the game we have the list of all the game list which you want to show, right? I will make it these games. Perfect. Now just iterate this one. So in order to iterate, like games dot map that one and item. Okay, like this. So arrow function we have to display. Okay, perfect. And here first of all let's display the image. So image source. Okay, and inside this add item dot image. Okay, because in data we are accessing this image, right? And now save it. Let me open our projects inside window. Oops, sorry, not this one. So if you see, we got all the images. Okay, also display the list of all the name text, the name of this games, right? So in h2 tag I will add the item dot name. Okay, and if you see, it also showing the name. Perfect. Now let's apply some styling. Okay, first of all I will update the, I will add the width and height for this one. So just add width of 45 and height also. And then uh, let's add the styling to this name as well. So add class name, and I will make this size to 14 pixel. And also I will make text to be aligned in the center. Okay, like this. Now what I have to do, we want everything horizontal line, right? So give class name to be text. Okay. But what you have to do, you we have to make sure when the screen size bigger or larger, right, the column need to be modified. So instead of adding the flex, I will add the grid. Okay. And when the screen size is smaller, I will add grid columns to be 3. Okay, like this. Right now it's smaller screen, right? Let me change this view actually, and let me explain it. Okay, so right now it's smaller screen, right? When the screen size is large or the smaller, right, this is extra small. When screen size is smaller, I will make this grid column to 4. Okay, now right now if this is a smaller, oh sorry, let me smaller like this. This is smaller screen size and this is the large screen size. Okay, now if the screen size is medium, we'll show grid columns to 5. Okay, so if I increase the size, I will see 5 items displaying. Okay, and if screen size is larger, I will display grid columns 7. I increase the size a little bit like this. You see everything is displaying on one line. Perfect. Okay, also I will give some margin from the top to be like 4 and save it. Now for this div, I will apply some styling. For example, uh, I will add the flex and then flex column. Okay, and then I will justify in the center. Oh, sorry, not justify. Let's add item to be in the center. Item to be in the center. It will be in one line. Everything, right? And now this look good. Okay. Now second thing, let's add some effect to this one, right? First of all, I will add the cursor pointer. So whenever I move this pointer, right, it will change to cursor pointer. Right now we are in mobile view, so it's not displaying. That's fine. Okay, for example, if I remove this view, right now if you it's change point to the cursor. Okay, now next thing, we will add some animation. Okay, so on hover, I want to do the animation bounce. See, right, like this, right? But we have to make sure whether do you want animation for the text as well or just for this image, right? So what I will do, I will remove this animation and I will add to this div only. Okay, so for this class name I will add this animation. Okay, now only this text and this images get bounced, right? uh, for the smoothness, I will add the transition to be all and duration will be like 150, right? And if I check, see how easily and smoothly is it applying this animation, right? Perfect. And yeah, that's all. So we pretty much completed this one, right? And now on the click of this one, we have to filter it out all this our listing. Okay, that we will cover next, right? But if you don't understand anything, okay, you can ping me or you can comment me in the comment section, and you can access this source code anytime on my GitHub channel. So the GitHub link, okay, and the GitHub link is in the description, so you can go and check it out. Okay, so next we will configure the Firebase, okay, so that we can connect our application to Firebase and then we can fetch the data from the Firebase and display it on the screen. Now, in order to integrate the Firebase, first of all, go to the Firebase console, okay? And if you don't have any new project, so create a new project by clicking add project and just type the project name and that's all, okay? So I already have this project created, okay? So go to the project, Once you land on this project, right, here you will see different types of ads. So here you can click add app, okay, and you will get the bunch of options like iOS, Apple, Android, web, okay, Unity and Flutter. Okay, so right now for the Next or React, right, we will create web. Okay, click on web and give the application name. So in this case we'll give Ninja Player. Okay, and you can set up the Firebase hosting. We will keep as it is for now and say register app. Okay, so it will take few seconds to register the application, and then you will see this command in order to install the Firebase. So copy this command, go to your application, and in the terminal execute this command and enter. Okay, and then you will see this Firebase configuration, correct? So copy this, all of this Firebase configuration. Okay, so I will copy this one and then go to your project. Okay, make sure this Firebase is installed correctly. Right now it's still installing. Okay, in meantime, you can create one folder called configuration if you want. Okay, or you can put it in shared folder, that's also fine. So I will put it in the shared folder, and here you can say Firebase config.js. Okay, and inside that I will paste my code. See how easy it is, right? And save it. Now go back to a Firebase console, sorry, and continue to console. Now we successfully integrate the Firebase. Now let's try to fetch data. Okay, so let's go to the Firebase console. Okay, so let me open this Firebase console, and make sure your app is showing. Okay, so if you click on this app and if it's disabled, just click enable like this. Okay, and then let's go to this Firebase database, Firestore database. Okay, here you have to create collection. I already created one collection called posts, and I added one document with the title and the description. Okay, you can create one by clicking start collection, give the collection ID, and then you can add the documents into it. Now let's go back to our project. Okay, and here you have to write the and fetch the data. Okay, because in the home index.js, right, we'll fetch the data here and then we will pass it to the posts component. Okay, so let's go to Firebase documentation, and it help us to know how to get data from the cloud firestore, right? So first of all, if you see, right, we already configured the Firebase config. Okay, this all this we already completed. Then if you come down, right, I show the example, different type of example, obviously. Okay, in order to get the document, first of all, you have to set the db variable, right, like this, you see, right? So we have to initialize the cloud firestore and get a reference to the service, right? So go back to application. I will open this side by side window. Okay, and over here we have to define the uh, reference, right? So what I will do, I will write constant db is equal to get firestore. Okay, like this, and make sure it's importing. Okay, so get firestore I imported, and this is the imported from Firebase slash firestore. Okay, and these are the all other variable which we might need in the future. And here if you see, we have to give the reference of the Firebase config, right? So in this case, if you go to Firebase config, we are exporting app, so we have to give app. Okay, so let's just write app and make sure you will import that from the app. Okay, so already have this import statement ready here, right? If you don't have like this, right, make sure you will import it. Okay, and now we have this app as well. Okay, so now in order to get post, what I will do, I will create one method called constant get post. Okay, and this will be a async function. So let add the async. Okay, now if you scroll down, right, right now what we need all the documents from that post collection, right? So this is the post collection and we want all the documents, right? Post and all the documents. So if you scroll down here, we'll get all the documents in the collection, right? And this is the sample code, so I will copy it as it is and paste it here. Okay, it's it's giving the reference from this particular get doc. Okay, and we are storing in query shots as query snapshot, and here you have to give the uh, collection name. So in this case it's posts, right? And get doc we already installed, sorry, we are already imported get doc. Okay, so if you see here, we have the get docs and then we have also have the collection. Okay, and then we are adding this reference to the database and then the post collection name. Okay, so this reference is from the Firebase Firebase configs firestore reference. Okay, and then we are adding the for each loop. So in the doc we might have multiple object, right? So we just printing it by providing id and then dot data. Okay, and save it. Now we have to call this function. So let's, in order to test it, I will call it in use effect. Okay, like this, and pass provide the empty array, and in get post just write get post like this. Okay, so what it will do, whenever the application load, it will execute this get post method, right? And save it. Now let's go back to our application. Okay, and open the spec panel, go to the console. Right now we got one error, right? The above occurred in home. Okay, so app is not defined, app is not defined. Okay, let's clean it, refresh it, and everything's look good, right? That is the previous error. And if you see, we got the our document from this particular collection, which is from the Firestore, right? And this is the sample document called title and description. And if you go back here, this is what I added, right? If you add one more document, for example, I added click auto id. Here I will add title, uh, come to play tennis. Okay, and the description I will add here, in Cornelius we are playing tennis, come to join me. Okay, and save it. Okay, now we have two documents. Now let's go back to application, clean everything, refresh the screen, and now you will see these two documents, right? The first is the in Cornelius, and second thing the playing team in Mooresville, right? So these two documents we are able to display on the console. Perfect. Now we are able to successfully fetch the information from the Firebase. Perfect. Now what we will do, I will add some more documents in order to display it on the screen along with the images. Okay, and then we will fetch it and then we will display it on the screen. Now once we have all the data, let's store it in a one state. So define one state called constant posts, set posts, in order to set the posts value is equal to use state, which is inbuilt hook. Okay, and initially I will pass the empty array. Now what we have to do, we have to, in this particular for each loop, we have to add that particular document with the previous one, right? So we have to put it in the array kind of list, correct? So here what how we can do, we can define set posts, and inside that we want the previous post as well, right, along with the new post. So you have to give three dots, then posts, which is our previous post, and the new post value, so it will be a doc data like this, and then save it everything. Now in set post, if we have four documents, then four document we will save in post, because here in this case we are using for each loop. Okay, next we will send this post value to our post component, right? So here we can define posts is equal to posts. Okay, and in order to avoid the delay, right, means if we are fetching the information from the Firebase and there is some might be a delay, right? So what we'll do, we can write one condition: if we have value in posts, then only show this post component, otherwise don't show anything, and then we'll pass it as a null. Okay, and save it. Now in post component, make sure you will accept it as props. So here posts, okay, so that you can show value here, right? So if you go to use effect and in the console you can check the post value. So post comma posts, okay. I will make sure the console is removed from here, okay, and save everything. Now if you go to the inspect panel and go to the console, okay, and if I refresh it, okay, and you will see the post value. See, right now we are getting only one post, okay. So this is now after this implementation, if you see in the console we are just getting one value, right? So we have to make small change here. We have to give posts and arrow function, okay, and then dot post and doc data, right? So with the existing post we are adding new value and then save it. Now let me clean this one and refresh the screen. Now we are getting four data, right? The four collection, and that's what we have in the our Firebase Firestore also, okay. If you are getting the multiple data, right, the duplicate data, because sometimes this in from use effect this get post called two times, okay. So in order to avoid that, in the next.config.js, make sure the react strict mode is false, okay. By default it's true, but you have to make it false so that you will avoid to adding duplicate value in our state, okay. Now let's display post on the screen. We already have this post released, okay, and we already console it. So let's display it here. So first of all, I will iterate this post, okay. So let's post dot map, right, and I will post item like this. And we also created this post item where we will add the card information, okay. So I will iterate this post item only. So post item, okay, like this, and let's pass the information, but let's say save it. And if you see, we have four collection, means four object in the list. That's the reason it iterate four times, and that's the reason we get post item four times, right? Now let's pass this each post information to this post item. So I will add post and then I'm passing item, okay. And make sure in post item you will fetching it that information as a post, okay. Now we need the image. If you see this mockup, right, we have this image, then this all this information, correct. So just search for the Tailwind CSS card with image, okay. And as usual we get this flow byte, we'll go into that one, and we got a bunch of option, right, but we want the card with the image. So like this, right. So we have image, the title and description, and then we will customize according our needs, okay. So I will copy this code and paste it like this, okay. So we have to make sure this class will change with the class name, okay. Just control C, control F it, and replace this name with the class name. This class will replace with the class name, okay, and I replace everywhere. Also for this image we have to make sure, okay, first of all I don't want this anchor tag, I will remove that one, okay, from everywhere. And then I will update this source with our post image, okay. So I will write post dot image and then save it. Now if you go back to our application, okay, cannot read property of undefined image. So let me check what's the issue. Oh sorry, so control all save, okay, because I did not save these posts. But if you save now, we got this all the information, and if you see, right, the beautiful card with the title and everything, right. Now replace this title with our own post title, okay. So for this h5 tag I will change this, and we'll replace this with a post dot title. Now our title will display on the screen. I will make this text size to be Excel, not to Excel, okay. and then we want to add the description as well. So let's add the description. Okay. So let's write post dot description and save it. You see, we got the description as well, and we want this read move button, we can keep it as it is. Okay, we will design like mock, not exactly like mockup but similar like mockup. Okay, now we have pretty much layout, correct? Now one more thing, the few things are missing. We want to show date and we want to show this um, location as well, right? So I already have the two icons that I'm going to import, right, from the React Native. So I added these two icon, high outline location and a high outline calendar. Okay, so first of all, I will add this outline calendar after the title. Okay, so I will add one div. Inside that I will add that calendar icon. Okay, and after that we want to show the location. So in post dot, sorry, it's a date, right? So post dot date and save it. And if you see, we got the date as well. Okay, now we want to apply some styling. So class name, make it flex, so it will be in one line. And we want to horizontally center, vertically center, so put item dot center. Okay, and for this one we will put the text orange by around 500. Let's add some gap as well, so gap of 2. Let's give margin from the bottom as a 2 and save it. Look, it's look perfectly fine. Also, I will change the icon size to text of 20 pixel, so it's little bit bigger. Okay, like this. Now same thing, just copy it, and we want it for location, right? So I will copy this one and paste it here. Okay, and copy this location icon and paste it. Just I will change this color to blue 500. Okay, like this. And we want to change date to location and save it. Perfect. Now we pretty much done with the styling and all. Okay, but if I increase size, it's still showing vertically, right? So in order to avoid that, let's make go to the post, right? And here depends on the screen size, we will change the layout of this one, right? And also if you see, this image not fully covered, correct? So if you go to the post item and inside the image tag, right, add the class name and make the width to be full. And if you see, width is now full. Okay, oh sorry, the class name is already defined, so I will add this width full here and I will remove from here. Okay, perfect. Now everything looks good, right? Now go to the post, and over here, depends on the screen size, right, we will change the layout. So we will define it as a grid, and when the screen is extra smaller for the mobile view, we will show the grid of columns one only. So on mobile view it will look like this. Okay, when the screen size is smaller, then we will set grid column to column. Okay, it will not affect right now, but if I increase the size, if you see, two column is showing. Okay, but don't worry, we will change. And also if you observe, right, height is not properly matched, right? So let's go back here, go back to the post item, and we will update our height as well. So here I will give height of 150 pixel. Okay, and save it. 150 pixel is too small, let's give 180. If I increase the size, now all the heights are similar. Go back to our post, and here after the medium screen size we will add the grid column of 3. Okay, and the screen size is larger, we'll add medium, so we will add the grid columns 4 and save it. Now if I increase size, right, and right now if you see, we got the 4 item in line, right? But if I decrease the size, this is a medium screen size, we got the 3. When I decrease screen size, the smaller screen size, we got 2, and for extra smaller we got the only 1, right? This is how easy you can change the layout with the Tailwind CSS. Okay, now let's modify a little bit. Okay, so here if I increase the size, right, we want to give some gap between this all the item. So we'll just add the gap here. So let's add gap of 4 maybe. Okay, let's see how it looks. So let's add more gap, maybe 5. Okay, and let's see how it looks. Okay, this is look good. Also we give some margin from bottom and padding x from uh, padding from the x-axis, right? So we'll give margin top to 5 and padding x to 10 and save it. Now if you see, it's look perfectly fine. Okay, now if I decrease the screen size, still it's look good. See how is smoothly it's changing the layout. Okay, on mobile view it will look like this. Okay, and it's not disturbing our layout or anything. Okay, perfect. Now next, we want to add the model, right? When we click on read more, the model will open and all the information regarding this particular event will display on the screen, right? Also for you, we I'm giving one challenge, right? If you see, right, we added this who posted this information, right? So you can add your own. Okay, and also if you want to add button like interested or something like that, or ask to join, right, you can add that one as well, right? This is for you. Do it. The source code of this layout and all will be on in the link, the GitHub link. The link is in the description, you can go and check out. Okay, okay, so let's move forward and let's implement the model. In order to implement the model in our application, we are going to use Daisy UI. Daisy UI is the one of the most popular component library for Tailwind CSS. Okay, and it's fully based on Tailwind CSS, but you will get a predefined component. You don't need to write all the Tailwind CSS classes. Okay, and very easy to install. Just copy this line of command and paste it in a project terminal, and make sure it will install. Okay, once it install, you will go to the components and you will see bunch of different options, right? For example, avatar, badge, buttons, card. Okay, if you go to the card, you will see a bunch of card, and already you can get the source code for that one. Okay, and just you can modify according to your needs. For this one, we are going to use model. Okay, so just search for the model. So let me search it here. Okay, here is go. Okay, so we have a model here. Okay, and if you see the example, if I click on this model, this is how it looks, and this is what we wanted, right? We can update it, we can modify it according to our need. Okay, so first of all, let's copy this dialog. Okay, so I will copy it, go to your project, and in home, create a new file called post model.js. Okay, uh, so go to home and create a new file called post model.js. Okay, and add a default template here. Okay, like this, and inside this one, paste the code which you copied. Okay, and here we don't want button. Okay, because we will put the button in different way, but let's test it. I will save it. Okay, let me bring our uh, project here like this. Okay, now we already have this post model. Now this post model we want to import in post screen. Okay, so go to the post screen, and over here we'll add the post model like this and save it. Now we'll see this button, right? Open model. So in open model we have this button. Okay, and for this button we have this on click method. If I click on this one, right, you will see this model. See how easily it comes, and if I close it, it gone, right? Now this button functionality we need to add for these particular post cards. Okay, so what I will do, I will remove this button completely. Okay, I also don't okay, let remove everything. Okay, and save it. Now on the click of this one, we want to open our model, correct? So go to the posts. Okay, we will wrap this into one div. Okay, like this, and for this div we'll add the on click function. Okay, so the it's similar, the one which we copied, right, from the daisy, right? So this on click method we want to add it here. So I will paste it like this. Okay. Yeah. And now I save it. Now if you go back to our application, right, because we imported this post model, obviously post model code is in this component as well, right? And if I click it now, you see we got this pop-up, a beautiful pop-up, right? If I click on this one, we got another pop-up. How easy it is, correct? Perfect. We can able to open the model. Now let's customize the model. Okay. Now here is thing, right? You don't need to write all of this code because we want to show the same information on the model as well, right? And some few changes. So what I will do, just remove this h3 tag to this div. Okay, and import the post item. But for post item, we want to send the post data, right? So from the post, make sure you will send this. You will send the post information to the model. Okay. So the similar way we are sending to post item, right? The same post we need to send it for the post model as well. Okay. So let's do one thing now. Right now we only have the post data, right? A list of post here, right? So what you can do, you can define one post and on click method of this one, right, also set the value for the set post. Okay, so like this. Now what we'll do, on the click you will get the single post value, and that value you are going to send to this post information. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, now save this one and make sure you will get it here. So let's save like this, and make sure you pass to the post item as well. So let post is equal to post, and save everything, right? So you save everything. Now if I open it, you see you got this particular pop-up with the card, right? Now you get the padding. So just remove this padding. So just write padding of 0. Okay, and also you can give the rounded corner. So rounded corner be medium, and save it. Okay, make it large. Perfect. And you see got the model as well. Now but we don't have close button, right? So I already have one button, and I will paste it here. And this is the outline circle, and I gave the position absolute and at the right at top. Okay, if I save it, make sure you import it. Okay, and if I save it, you'll see this button right at the corner. I close it, it's closed the um, model. Okay, as simple as that, because daisy UI provide all this functionality. Okay, so you don't need to taking care of the close functionality or open and everything. Daisy UI give us everything. Okay, and if you see everything's working. Now one quick thing, right? I added this post by section, correct? And I want it on the screen, but I'll also not want the read more. Okay, so let's come here, right, in post section, sorry, in post item. Okay, and here I define one model. Okay, and I kept the value to be false initially. Okay, only when if open, right, then only I want to show this posted by on the model, right? So for that one, go to the post model, not post model, in post only. Okay, and here I will send the model value. So model is equal to true. Okay, and save it. Now go back here, let me close this, and if you see, now you did not see that particular user's information. Only if I click on this one, then only I can able to see it. Okay, that's what we needed. Perfect. If I increase the size, if I open it, it look perfectly fine, right? And all the information which you need, everything is here. Now go to the spec panel and change to mobile view, and on mobile view as well, right? If I open it, see how quickly it open, and you don't need any issue, right? So this is how model work. I hope you understand the daisy UI. You can explore a lot of things in the daisy UI. Okay, so there are chart bubbles, you get the loading option, progress option. Okay, and all of this code you will get it. in a one click. Okay, so guys, that's all for this particular section. Okay, next we are gonna add create post page. Okay, so you will learn how to navigate from home page to create post, and user can add the information to that one, and then it save to the Firebase. Okay, and once it's saved, obviously it will display on the screen as well. Okay, so next we will look into that one. So now let's create a new page for the create post. Okay, so we will create a new page in a pages folder so that we can able to route it in that page by URL. Okay, so first of all, you can create directly a new file, uh, create post.js, or for the good organization, you can create one folder called create post. Okay, and inside that folder just add the index.js. Okay, so that is the default file. Okay, add the default template and change this to create post like this. Okay, and save it. Okay, now if you go to this create post, okay, create dash post and enter, you will see the create post over here. See, okay, so you can able to navigate from the URL, okay, to that file. So that's the reason Next.js is quite easy. You don't need to configure any routing, anything, right? Just add the file in pages folder or whatever the folder you want to add in the pages folder, and that's all. The routing will generate automatically for you. That's the reason Next.js will help a lot. Okay, you don't need to do any special configuration like React. Okay, but just create a file and you are done. Now in order to navigate, if you have this create post button, right, and if I click on it, you want to navigate to the create post, right? If we are on the home page and if I click on create post, it will navigate. So in order to do that, right, first of all, let's go to our header where we have this create post button, correct? And let me close this one. And here, right, we will define uh, constant route. Okay, and we have to define reference of the use route hook, which is coming from the next, right? If I do like use the router, right, if you see, it's imported from the next router. Okay, and do like this. Now we have the reference of the user router. So now here we define the router reference, right? So come back here and we have this create post, right? So for this button, I will add the on click method, and here you can add the router, and then you have to push which router you want to add it, right? Or you want to navigate it. So in this case is create slash create post. Okay, and save it. Now if I click on this button, right, create post, it will navigate to the create post. See how easy it is, right? If you come back, it will come back again. If I navigate, if I click again, right, it will not navigate because you're already in create post. Perfect, that's what we wanted. Now let's implement the create post screen. Now before moving forward to create a create post page, we have to make sure when user is unauthenticated or is not signed into the application, we will restrict to the create post page. Right now, if you go to the create post, user can able to go to create post even though he is signed out. You see the image is not showing. I put the condition, if user is not sign in, then remove the image, means don't show the image, and the button is changed to sign in, right? So what you have to do, let's go back to application. Here first of all, we have to add the session reference. So first of all, write constant data session, okay, is equal to use session. Okay, now we have the session information. After that, define the constant router as well. Okay, sorry, router is equal to use route. Okay, so what we can do, once if user is not signing in and it jump to the create post directly by URL, right, then we have to redirect to the home page. That's the reason I define this router and define use effect. Inside the use effect, as the empty array, so it will execute only once, okay, once the components load. And inside use effect, we can put one condition. If session is not there, right, means there is no session, means user is not logged in, then it's redirect to the home page. So just add router dot push, and that's home screen, means the default screen, right, and save it. Now if I try to go to the create post, see, I'm going to the create post, and see, it's redirecting back to the home screen. Even though if I click on this create post, right, it's no longer go to the home screen. See how easy it is, correct? Now you can put a toast message or whatever you want, right? That's your challenge, that you can do it, add your own idea. If user is not logging, you can show the message as well. Okay, now if I click sign in and sign it with Google, right? And now if you see, I can able to see the user image. And if I go to the create post, I can able to see the create post page. See, so this is authentication is quite cool, right? And quite easy to implement as well. So make sure you understand this one, and if you have any question, put it in the comment section. So here I already added this simple form. Okay, so this is the HTML form, and we gave the some styling with the help of Tailwind CSS classes. Okay, so I created this. We already have this create post. Okay, and I created new component as a form. Okay, in the component section. So if you see in the component folder, I have one folder called create post, and in that I kept this form.js, which contain this all the input text area, the date selection, and this uh, the selection, okay, drop down. And it's quite easy. If you see, right, the selection drop down, we already have this game list, right, and that I iterated. And if you want any source code, the link is in the description, okay, the source code. So guys, we already have this information. Right now we need to implement how to fetch the data, means on the on the click button, right, the submit button. We have to make sure that we get all of necessary information which we need to store in our Firebase database. Now we have the form ready. Okay, now we have to make sure that once the user is enter the all information and click submit, we have to store our all the user entered value, and then we have to pass it to the Firebase. Okay, so first make sure for each of the input field you are providing the name for it. Okay, so for this one we have the name called title, for this text area we have a name called description, and so on. Okay, so for each of these particular inputs, make sure the name is you assign. Okay, next we have to wrap this all of this one in a one form. So I will do form. Okay, and make sure you wrap it. Okay, after that, for this form, add a on submit method. Okay, so in this particular form, that add on submit. Okay, so for this on submit property, I will write one method called handle submit. Okay, so create one method called handle submit arrow function like this. Now also let's pass the event. Okay, and in order to avoid the duplicate value, we'll add the e target prevent default. Okay, now on the click of submit, we can submit the other value. But if you see, right, if I try to submit, it's saying please fill out the form, a particular field, right, because I make this particular field as a required. Okay, and for this one we need all the fields are required, so add the required field. Okay, like this for each of this particular input. Okay, and if I try to submit it, see, okay, that is very useful for us. Sorry. Next we have to add the handle change event. Okay, so for that one, first of all, let's define one state called constant inputs comma set inputs, which hold our input value. Okay, so whatever the user entered into this field, this state will hold the value for that one. Okay, is equal to use state. Okay, and pass the empty object. and save it. Now first thing, right, once you just submit this particular form, we also need to send the user information. That is very important, right? For example, we need to send user name, user image, and user email. So that we will get from the user session, right? So define that one, constant data session, right? What means the login information of the user will get it here, okay, is equal to use session. Now we also have the session information. Add use effect method, and at very first we have to make sure that you will add all the user information first, okay. So what I will do, I will set the input value, okay, and inside that the previous values I will add it here, right, like this, in a curly braces, like this. And this dot not this dot is used, it add the existing value, okay, along with the new value. So I will call values, and then let's say username, and username will be a session dot user dot name. This is how username information. I will write this 3 times. Let's write like this. And here is user image, and here is the email. Okay, and make sure you will update this one as well, and email. Okay, now we have the user information which we already set in the our inputs. Now write one method called handle change. Okay, so we have event e and the arrow function. Okay, so what I will do, we have to use this handle change event. Okay, so here what I will do, I will call this handle change on change method, right? So on change, right, so once you enter the text, right, the handle change event will get called immediately. Okay, and we need to use this each input field. Okay, so I will paste it everywhere like this. Now we have for all handle changes will be applied for everyone, right? Now here first of all, let's take the name of the field, right? So constant name is equal to e dot target dot name. Okay, and then the associated value for that one, so let's call constant value is equal to e dot target dot value. Now we have the name and value, so let's add it in the input. So let's say set inputs. Inside that we'll add the values, and then the function dot 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 values comma name and associated value for that one. Very simple, perfect. Now we have everything set up for this value. Just on some on the submit button click, let's console the values information. So let's say um inputs, right? So we just have inputs, let's say on submit. Okay, so on submit we will print the input in the console. Okay, now try to enter the information. So I will take test title, test description, take some dates, location is Cornell, yes, zip code, and select some game, so in this case tennis, and try to submit it. Now if you see, right, when I submit, I got the object with all the information which we need, right? It means whatever we written is working, right? So if you see date, description, email, tennis, location, everything is there. Now this data we have to send it to our Firebase database. Okay, so we'll see that one next. So now we successfully able to get the input from the user. Okay, now let's store that into database. So here we have the Firebase database, right? And in the documentation it provide how to store the data in the Firebase Firestore. Okay, so first of all, let's initialize the Firestore. Okay, so the define constant db is equal to get Firestore, and make sure from the configuration you will import it. Okay, then if you scroll down, it's mentioned how to set a document, right? And it's quite easy. Just copy this await set doc and put it in our handle submit, right? Make our method or function async, okay? And in set doc here, you have to import this particular statement, right? So doc and set doc. So let's put it here like this, and make sure you also import the get firestore, okay? Then we already have database reference. Here we have to pass the collection name, so in this case is post, and the document id, okay? So for now we will add the document id as date dot now, okay? And we have to convert into to string, because document id need to be a string, okay? So I will convert the timestamp into the string, and after this we have to pass the input. So remove this one and pass our inputs, that's all, and save it, okay? Now let me go back to our application. So now let's enter some information. So let's add title like let's play tennis, okay? Meet with me tomorrow, okay? So date is I will put 17, location is Charlotte, zip code I will put some random, and some game. So game name is tennis. And if I submit right now, we did not put any successful message or anything, right? If I submit it, let's open our database, and if you see, right, we have already previous one, and this is our id. So this is nothing but our timestamp, okay? And if you see, all our data is stored in the database. So we have description with the title and everything, okay? Now let's go back to our application, okay? So let's go back in our application, and here you will see this listing, okay? If I open this listing, you will see the information. But if you see, we don't have image display on the screen because we are not uploading any image right now. So let's see how can we do that. Now I added this choose file input type, okay? And I am just accepting this gif, jpg, png file format, okay? It's quite easy. Now what you have to do, you have to first write on change method. So on change, okay? And first of all we will just console it whether we are getting the correct data or not, right? So just write on change, okay? And the event e, console it, console.log, and then e dot target dot file of 0, okay? E dot file, okay? And save it. Now let's go back here, open the inspect panel, open the console, okay, clean everything. So let's add some dummy information, okay? Anyway we are not storing this information because we already commented that particular section. And say choose file, so in this case I will choose this file and just submit it, right? As soon as submit, it post created successfully, and if you see in the console the uploaded a blob file, okay? Now let's go back to our um, this particular storage, and if you see, right, this file we just uploaded and it's get uploaded successfully. If I open it, I'm getting this particular url as well, okay? Now the thing is, we also need the url so that we can store it in our storage, okay? So go back to your project, and here, right, in upload bytes, right, inside that one we have to define one more method, okay? So after this, because this is a promise, okay, say then, and then we have to write response like this, okay? And inside that we have one method called get download url, right? If you go to the Firebase documentation, right, at the bottom you will see code for that one, okay? So over here, right, it's the same thing, we have to use it. But in this case we already defined the storage reference, so just add the storage reference like this, and then add the url, and we got this url over here, right? So here we have the url. Now what you have to do, uh, just set the input like this, right? So I set the input value, and for the image I provided this particular url, okay? And then whatever documentation we have here, I will cut this one, paste it inside this. Okay. This need to be async, so I will make it async. Now we have all the data, all the information which we needed for this download URL. Okay, so we pretty much complete this one, right? And let's test it now. So get post and we'll add some information here. So come join for grandfather mountain trekking. Okay, then taking as a group something. Then we have to select some dates, some location, other mountain. Okay, zip code, and select the game. So in this case it's trekking. Choose a file. So I'm choosing the file and submit it. Okay, as soon as you submit it, immediately send a toast message that post created successfully. Okay, and go back to home screen now, and if you see our post is created, you can open it and you will see all the details like who posted the email ID and everything. Okay, so guys, I hope you understand this one. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Also, I want to let you know that we need to some make some modification, right? So for example, in the form.js, right, I created another use effect. So another, this is the very important thing. You can create a multiple use effect, depends on your requirement, right? And depends on the whether the data is submitted or not. I create a one state, and depends on the state change, this use effect will get executed. Okay, with the some condition, everything, right? So make the changes whenever you need it. Okay, so depends on the your requirement, you can update it, right? The source code of this all project is in the github, so the link is in the description. And now we will create the profile section. Okay, so in the profile section, once user click on this user image, right, it will open the profile section, and whatever the post that user uploaded, that post will able to display on the screen, and user have option to delete that post as well. Okay, so let's do that. Now in order to create a profile section, first of all we have to create a new page, right? So inside the pages folder, create a new file called um, profile. Okay, and inside that I will add the where it is. Okay, let me create new one. Also it's created here, right? And inside that add index.js. Okay, add the default template, this, yeah, and just name it as a profile. Okay, so component name should start with the capital letter. Okay, and save it. Now if you go back to the profile, right, if you are route to the profile, you should able to open the profile page. So if I open profile, you'll see the profile, right? Now let's on the click on this profile, right, you should able to go on this page. So let's open the header. Okay, and here is our profile image, correct? So on click function, we'll add the on click function. Sorry, on click. Okay, and we can directly do the inline routing. So inline routing in the sense inline function call. So route dot push, and then the name of the profile. So in this case it's profile, name of the page, right? And save it. If you come back on the home screen, if I click on this one, right, so make it cursor pointer, so it will be easy, right? Okay, now if I click on this, it will jump to profile. If I click on post, it will open and create post, right? If I log out, right, the profile section will no longer able to see on the screen, right? And even though if I click edit, it will not go. So you have to log in first. Okay, and then you will jump it on the screen. Okay, now let's implement the profile page. So now let's add the profile as a text. Okay, let's give some margin. So from the top, margin top, I will give some 10, margin 10. Okay, and similar margin which we give for this create post, the similar one we can give for our profile page as well, right? So I will copy the same styling and paste it here like this and save it. Then change the add some styling to the profile. Say let's say text of 30 pixel. Sorry, make text to be bold and save it. Sorry, it's need to be a font to be bold. I will make extra bold. Then I will change the color to blue 500. Okay, like this, perfect. And then I will write one tag here. So tag of like um, add or delete your post. Okay, manage or just write manage your post. Manage your post. Okay, like this, perfect. So now what we have to do, we can use the custom post item, the component, right? Just need to do is to fetch the information from the Firebase, right? So for that one we need a user session. Okay, so first of all let's define user session. So data comma session is equal to use session. Okay, and from this one we will we got to know, okay, which user is it, right? And with the help of email address we can fetch the data. So define use effect. Okay, and empty array, and then whenever the session is available this use effect will execute. And also define a method called get user post, and inside that we have to fetch the data from the Firebase, correct? So we know how to fetch the data from the Firebase. Okay, so let's come here, right, and just type Firebase uh, get document and get data with the cloud firestore. And obviously we need to uh, sorry, let me, yeah, we need to initialize this database first. So just copy it, paste it here. Okay, I'm showing every time because you get to know, you understand how to it works. Okay, that's the reason I'm showing you every time from the documentation. Okay, now we have database instance. Now we need a document, right? So we have option called get document, correct? So but we have some option that, okay, with the where clause or how can we get the document, everything we need to find here. So if you see, right, this get multiple document from the collection and with the where condition is available, right? So first of all write the query. Okay, so inside the get user post, right, we are right can constant q is equal to query. So we have to first mention the query. Okay, and inside query and collection, okay, and the database instance, then we have to provide the name of the collection. After that we have to write the where condition. Okay, so if you see, right, in this documentation the where condition is on what field you want to put the where condition, right? So in this case is our email, right? So write email comma is equal to and then user's email id. So in this case user, sorry, the session dot user dot email. Okay, and you can make this as an optional and save it. Now our query is ready. Okay, now same thing you have to follow like this and try to add this one and make this function async, and make sure you import all of these properties. Okay, so for example they get docs I added here, right, from the Firebase firestore and all of these things, all this function in this use effect. Okay, and save it. Let's go back to our application and open the inspect panel, go to the console, and if you see, right, we got the one object. Actually we got a multiple one. Let me clean it and refresh it. And we call where call with the invalid data field value undefined, right? So the reason is the user session data is not available, right? And only we want to execute once the session email is available. So what you can do, you can write the condition like this and save it. Oh, sorry, for this one and save it. Okay, and now if you go to the inspect panel, we got this data, right? So one information there and the one post is added, and that post is nothing but this one. Okay, perfect. Now let's pass this information to the post item, and then it will show the all the posts related to the user. Now we are getting all of these users post, right? So add one state, so constant user post comma set user post use state, and inside this user post, with the help of set user post, we will set the value for all the post. Okay, so set user post, okay, and inside this one user post dot user post comma this particular document dot data, so doc dot data. Perfect. And now we have all the user post information. Okay, this user post information we can iterate it. Okay, so for this one, let's add one div, and here you can say user post dot map item arrow function. It to be like this, and let's print something. So for example, let's print item dot title and save it. Now let's go back to a profile, and right now we got the error that user post is undefined. Okay, so now we got this error, right? So user post is not iterable, or also sometimes it's not defined. So what you have to do, make user post as a pass empty array initially. Okay, and now you will see this. Also here you can pass user post and end. So if user post is there, then only it will iterate the user post. Okay, and if you see, if I save it multiple times, it's saving because uh, the same data is getting added. That's the reason sometimes you have to refresh it. Okay, so now instead of this one, right, just add the post item, and inside that pass the data. So in this post and then item, and save it, and then you will see the information. See how easily it's showing. Just think, same grid you can apply it here, right? So go back to index.js, and here you have the grid information, not this one actually. So go to the posts and this one. So I'll paste it here and save it. Now if I increase the size, okay, so the width is smaller, right? So let me go back. So over here we added this condition, right, large width, and remove this condition and then save it. Now if you increase size, you can able to see this information perfectly. Okay, and also you can pass one more field called model equal to false and save it. Make it model true, let's see, perfect, like this. So now I also created this delete button. Okay, inside this mapping only. Okay, so after post item I added this button, so each of the post will get the button. So if I refresh it, and if you see, right, I have two posts and two different delete button. Okay, so now on the click of delete button, we want to delete this particular post. Okay, so uh, here you can write on click function, right? Before that, I made one more change. So each of this query snapshot for document, right, we are getting document ID, and this is how I restructure the information, right? So I'm storing that document data into data, and also I'm adding ID for that same data. Okay, and passing into the set user post. So right now let's create a new I create new method called on delete post. Okay, and let's pass ID for it. Okay, and if you come back here, so just type on click. Okay, let's say on delete post, okay, and pass the id. So this is item.id, okay, and save it. Now if you go back here, okay, let me refresh it, open the inspect panel, go to the console, clean it, and if I click delete, you will see the id. See, right? Perfect. Now this id we will pass to the Firebase in order to delete the information. Okay, so let's come back to our project, and inside this one I will remove this one, okay. And in order to delete the particular document, right, this is the particular, what will say, the code, right. So first of all we have to define the Firebase get store, which we already defined, and then they copy this line of command to delete the document. On delete document, right here we can add it. So let's await, make it a sync function, and give the collection name, in this case is post, and then the id. So id is the id which we want to delete, okay, and save it. Also here I will add the toast message. So let's write the similar toast message which we have, right. So in the create post we have this toast message. I will copy the existing one, so it may be in the form, okay. So this post message I will copy it, right, here. And also I will set the one state called show toast. Set show toast is equal to use state, initial value will be false, okay? And the toast message post deleted successfully, and save it. And here we can call show post to be true, and save it. Let's go back to our application and let's test it. So let me go back to application, and then we have two posts, right. So for example, if I delete this one, it's get deleted and we only see the one post. If you want to delete this one, you can delete it, okay, as simple as that. So that's all for this particular section, and we pretty much completed all of these things. Right now you have one challenge. So you know how to fetch data, how to use where condition with the Firestore. Now if I type something like some zip code, right, and click on search, with the help of this zip code you have to filter it out, this all of this post, right. And also for this depends on the game, right, which we are storing in the database. With the help of that one also you can filter it out your post. So this is challenge for you and you can do it on your own. The source code of this, all of these things, feature and everyone, right, is available on the GitHub. So the link is in the description. You can go and check it out if you have any doubt or anything, right. Or you can DM me anytime on my Instagram channel, or you can join my new Discord channel as well. So until then, see you in next video.